Mel,
Brandon,
good to see you again.
good to see you again. Top of the evening to you.
Middle of the week?
It is. It is. Big
What-
day, busy all day.
What do you want to buzz about?
Well, I don't know. We should give a shout out to our friends, like at Duvall's Liquor.
Well, yeah, our friends from Duval Liquorland.
What a
One of our finest sponsors, if I might add.
don't think he didn't pay for this.
The koozie or the beer?
We
More
got
free
koozies.
stuff,
Well,
right?
you got koozies like this. You got koozies like that and that and that. Which kind of koozie do you have? Anyway, the real topics is probably going to be when we got elections coming up.
We got elections coming up. We're 6 to 7 weeks out. We got,
7 weeks out. Had
Yes.
our first forum.
Yep, we got our first forum from the college. Basically, 5 of the 6 candidates showed up, and then I haven't heard anything from the city folks if they're going to have any type of forum, any type of debate, any relevancy to that. So I don't know if normally the paper sponsors something like that, but
I
haven't heard a word.
Well, I think the chamber sponsored it before. The city sponsored. The paper sponsors. Paper typically sponsors. But I haven't heard a word about it. But time's getting short. If they want to bring their ideas across, and maybe they're still formulating. I don't know. Maybe they don't know. Maybe everybody's thinking, I don't know what to do.
Or they'll elect the most popular name they know.
Gee, I can't imagine that happening. Aren't we full of critical thinkers here? Learned, the populace is a learned populace who is out for the best of the community versus just glossing over something. So,
Are you drunk again?
I'm drunk with, I'm giddy. I'm not drunk, I'm giddy. I'm giddy with the opportunity to shine the light on what we know.
So you went to the forum. No, you didn't go. We live streamed it, right?
The live stream forum.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Winfield
Who did
Chamber.
that? Oh, chamber live
Yeah.
stream. Well,
Yeah, nice job.
yeah,
It was-
it was well done.
Yeah, the audio was a little fuzzy, but we understand that. We record from a cell phone regularly, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But we got to hear everything we wanted to know. We didn't have to go. It was all right.
When you say all right, I mean we're lockstep with these people or what?
Oh, I just meant the
The
broadcast.
broadcast was good. That's the
The
message.
idea that it was great, I would say, was exactly. It was okay.
A good messenger message was,
I thought you got new matches.
damn, I did modern strike anywheres.
Well, how well that work?
Well, God damn, they don't want the millennials to hurt themselves.
Is that what it is?
So they make these
So here's the deal.
strike almost anywhere matches.
There's supposed to be 6 candidates.
You look at that.
6. Yeah, I seen that. Are you impressed with yourself?
I'm impressed that I could do that. I defeated the undefeatable. These are new strike anywhere matches that are strike anywhere safety matches.
For children and millennials. Perfect. So there's supposed to be 6, well, there are 6 candidates for the college trustees position. 5 of the 6 showed up. The Hanson guy didn't show up. We actually sent him a note and said, hey, why didn't you show up? Are you withdrawing? Or you something come up? And no response. So the way I see it, he's gone. He's out.
I didn't care. Yeah, if he didn't care enough to go to the forum, then he's out.
You got to show up.
And if he doesn't care, I don't give a damn. 'Cause I don't want a surprise. I don't want any damn surprises.
That's right.
So,
What's your big takeaways?
well, the number one comment was about declining enrollment. But declining enrollment, they blamed it on the economy. However, could it possibly be that college rates have gone up 213% since 1988? Could it possibly be that you're borrowing money to send your kids to college knowing they can't pay it back? You're borrowing money you don't have to send your kids to college knowing they can't pay it back.
What do you think that some people might go with the idea that Bernie might get elected and then all their college is going to be free?
Hell, then it's free. God damn it. Damn, you got me on that one.
I'm surprised enrollment's not through the sky, knowing that Bernie's going to get
free.
in there.
It's free. And what is the value of free education? Doesn't make any difference. It's free. What is the value of this education at this cost? But until they get realistic on their costs, until they find subject matter it's actually going to pay back, because the light of day has been shined on the fact that college graduates don't get what they were promised to have.
So here's something that I thought was interesting.
Yes.
I ran into a couple faculty members the other day at breakfast. And I said, what was your take on the whole election? They said, well, we don't know. I mean, we seen the forum. We live streamed it. We watched it. And we're probably going to go with the incumbents. And I said, well, why would you do that? I don't understand. And they're like, well, we know what they're all about. And I said, well, that makes sense. However, I'm like, you got sometimes a known position is not moving forward. You got to take a chance and get somebody in there that's a little bit different, that's a little bit more unique. And just to say in this little safe space, I guess that does kind of describe education and millennials all in one. But
to do something that doesn't work over and over and over, well, what does that describe? What's that called when you do that?
oh, that's insanity.
Oh, wow. Whoops. Well, let's don't call it that. Let's call it something else. Let's call it the safe space. The safe space that look, we know how stupid these guys are, but we know how stupid they are. So why would we want to alter from that? Why step off into the unknown?
Here's another thing I thought was
If there's a light at the end of the tunnel, it may be a train.
Yeah. Here's another thing I thought was odd. In this same general conversation I was having with these ladies, I was a little bit perplexed by the idea there, because these ladies are faculty members. I won't dare speak their names, but they teach, I think, mostly locally at the Cowley College campus in Arc City, and they were surprised that none of the candidates come out against the Mulvane or Sumner campuses in any stretch of saying, why wouldn't we want to invest solely in Cowley? Because that's kind of where I'm at, and I've been pretty clear about that. But I said, well, they're trying to get elected. You can't go out and say shut down the Mulvane and Sumner campus and get elected. It doesn't work that way.
What's a little after the fact now anyway.
Well, it's absolutely after the fact, and
we're stuck with that.
Yeah,
one,
and we're married to it. We're sister wives with Mulvane and Wellington.
Make the damn thing work.
And we will.
And we can.
Yeah.
We could make them work. Everything is possible. Everything is doable if we sculpt it right and enable to move laterally. If you got to change directions, by God, change directions. Don't wait till it's too late. And so that's why I am kind of against the incumbents that are in there, for that very fact that, hey, this has been failing for some time. This is how many years in a row has enrollment been down?
Yeah, and I know they all touched on that, and I'm not putting it is a notable fact, but that could be the Trump effect too. The economy's really good right now. There aren't a lot of people begging for jobs. I mean, you don't need to go. A lot of people resort to college when they're out of a job. Oh, I'm going to start a new career. I'm going to do something. And when the economy's as good as it is,
fair enough.
You can walk out of high school and get a pretty good job.
And you know that I've been certified by the college to be an instructor for apprenticeship programs for tradesman application, blue collar world. Seems that that's where the money is at.
And if any one of these candidates isn't in front of the idea that we got to be really focused on trade schools, you shouldn't elect them, because that's really important right now.
Well, trade school as being that's what's going to butter your bread.
And I like bread.
I like mine buttered, and that's what's going to do it.
And that's what will save the college.
That's what could potentially save the college, but they have to go after it with both feet. And the incumbents saying that they didn't have any progressive ideas, or not progressive, motivated in that direction ideas. And plus being incensed by they gave Riddle that big raise, and then he's bailing on them. I mean,
yeah, and I think that they talked about what it would take, or what characteristics do you need to hire a president for a college, and several of the folks said, I don't have any experience at that, and Doc Arnett, so I've hired people at all levels. And here's the deal, they hired the guy, and anyone that thinks that the incumbents, I mean, some of the incumbents may have hired him, but they all renewed his contract.
Which I don't have a problem with, but when you hire somebody, it's up to you to make the guy perform. You know, whether he's a self-starter or not is irrelevant, but you have to groom him, you have to task him to do what you want him to do. This running amok with what he wants to do and you watch it steadily decline that's not. If the board sees the failure, if the board looks at the numbers, I mean, we got one that touts herself to be a CPA, and
Joanne or Jill, because they were both. I thought it was kind of funny. They had like, well, Joanne was like, "Well, I'm a CPA too," and
we got two CPAs. So and there's what, 7 members or 9, 7 or 9.
Well, Joanne said reading the fine print was no big deal. And the financials, oh yeah, I'm a CPA, I can do it. Then you got Joe Long, who's an active CPA and does it for a living every day, and she's like, it's pretty tough. This isn't something I do every day, and it's something you really got to pay attention to understand it. And so I don't know.
Well, the thought of reading financials is one thing. The thought of trending what they're doing, maybe a minute by minute account, is almost irrelevant. It's the trending of it and deciding, look, we got a problem here. You know, we want to expand. We got this 20-year expansion plan and all these things, all these grandiose plans that they have, but they can't do any of them with declining enrollment. And
so,
go ahead.
With that, I mean, and that's fine. But so, who do you think stuck out in the night? I mean, who?
Berganini.
He was your winner.
He was my winner, only because of more aggressive attitude about well, look, this isn't working. Please, let's do something.
I thought he was a little too aggressive.
He was very aggressive.
However,
it scares everybody.
And it does. It scares off a lot of folks. But where I think he was right is that he doesn't drink the Kool-Aid at all, right? So whatever Riddle says or the staff says or the legacy trustees like Juden and Schertz, he doesn't buy any of that crap that they tell him because he reads the stuff himself. And there was a little bit of an argument about this $400,000, whether or not the college has been paid back or not, and from what I can read,
this from the tax base for the Wellington school?
Yeah. So the Cowley County campus, or the headquarters, whatever you want to call it, loaned Sumner an extra $2.5 million for all the furnishings, and I think that includes, computers, desks, machines, welding machines, everything furnishing wise. The bond that they struck out was for the building and the stuff itself. Oh, and the kitchen. That was part of that $2.5 million. Well, Berganini said none of that's even been paid back yet. We loaned them that $2.5 million, and none of it's been paid back. And Jolene and I think Berger, I think it was Berger, they both, in fact I know it was. Well, no, they have paid back $400,000. Well, no, that $400,000 is what was collected in sales tax dollars that was supposed to go back to pay the bond payment. So I think Berganini's right, and I like that he's bold. I like that he's a little bit, and I'm going to use the word radical lightly. He's not a radical, but he's not going to follow anybody's lead without doing his research. And the important part about that, folks, and people might think he's a wild card, and I think that's important to note. However, he can't do anything by himself. But what he will do a great job of is bringing it up to the rest of the board members. And he can put it in front of their face and let them decide if they're willing to do something about it.
And also I like his passion on it. This is the second time he's run. And he garnered votes last time, but he really didn't have the presentation was there, but the timing may have been wrong because they were still drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
As far as status quo, this is the way we're headed, this is the way it's always done kind of attitude. And he says, but it ain't working. Well, now it's really not. They're apparent it is not working. And they're hanging the tax. And the reason we're paying for the damn thing.
Yeah, we're paying the taxes.
Yeah, look at your property tax statement. See what percentage of your property tax goes to support this school.
And it's a lot.
And there's a bunch. And what are we going to get for
Actually,
it?
don't look at it if you want to be disappointed.
Really. Yeah, we don't need pitchforks and torches.
I thought Doc Arnett stood out probably from well-rounded, appealed to everybody. Yep. I liked his staunch stance on the let's not stifle people's comments in open meetings. He was a big advocate of that. I thought that was great.
Which is why the status quo can't be. Just for that statement alone, which Arnett brought up, said you cannot not let people talk. If you don't want to hear what they've got to say, then do a job so good they won't say anything. Other than that, you got to listen.
That was the only thing. I thought Jill Long did well also. She was pretty articulate in her message. She did a nice job, but that was the only thing that I thought she stumbled on, is she defended the idea that that's just trying to be professional. Well, baloney. I mean, the reason it is, and whether you want to call it professionalism or the lack thereof, from my perspective, is if you're that worried about somebody catching you and asking you a question, then you're in the wrong damn job. This is a tough job,
Well,
whether you're a trustee, a director level employee, or the president of the damn college. You're being paid to come up with the idea that you can take a question from an audience.
And she makes statements like, we want to maintain a professional level. I don't know what that exactly means.
I don't buy that.
Well, what does a professional level mean? If I come in here and if I'm grammatically not correct, or if my semantics aren't well, or if I'm not dressed right,
Which is pretty well the case when you speak and when you're president.
I think all the things, I am none of those things. But however, my message is sound. I'm not just making this crap up. It is so. And if they don't like it because of my presentation, then actually their lack of professionalism shows. Because if they can't see the truth, what kind of professional are they? They're getting a professional. Word professional means you're getting paid. If you're getting paid to discern information, then God damn it, discern. Well, I can't say that. Gosh darn it, discern the stuff.
Almost made it through the whole episode without
No, I've been
doing
working on my professionalism.
So anyhow, I thought your big winners were Jill Long, Doc Arnett, and Berganini. And Berger didn't do bad. My problem with her was that she was a little bit flim-flam on some topics. She contradicted herself at one point. She was. I still think her and Joanne are wrong on the 400,000.
And they make statements like "stay within our budget." You don't have your choice. That's not a statement of statements. Stay within our budget. Like, God, you cannot borrow more. You're not allowed to. This is all you have. As a taxing entity, you're held to this budget standard. But they never once said, how can we do a better job with the money we've got without paying everybody? And their first thing is, well, we got to just pay the teachers more money. Well, that's fine, but expect more from them. But that's not the way it's ever breached.
Yeah, and we got to hold them to a high level if we want to run a professional campus.
Well, a high level is, and be as professional as professional dictates. So, and we had talked about this in private conversation about the motivation of teachers. I mean,
It's got to be money driven.
Yeah, well, maybe we might have talked about when we were talking about the teacher involvement, and giving them some kind of skin in the game. Say, hey, the better you do, the more you'll make.
Yeah.
And if you don't do well, you're not going to make anything.
But the union protects them. They'll do whatever the hell they want, Mel. They got tenure.
But the union protects them because administration, and having dealt with unions for many years, having been in the union, in management, and in management of the union. The union's not unfair. They're a little bit overbearing, but what they always see, or I always see, is management capitulates to the union's wants because they get scared, and holding them accountable to what their actual contract says, because they're usually decent contracts.
Oh, I think the current college, their faculty contract's great. I mean, I don't know what more they could ask for.
Then hold them to that. Hold their feet to that fire, and of course you'll make them better too. When if you do well, there's a reward. If you do badly, you're getting punished. That is an incentive. And we got to break the adage of those that can't do teach, and that's kind of what it always looks like because of protectionism of the union. And some of the statements of the way they picked Riddle was, I'm not sure that it's good or bad, but it's not the point. The point is, after he was hired and he's not performing, something's got to change. And however you hire him, for whatever reason, I don't know, it makes a damn difference. But once he gets in play, you've got to make sure that he maintains that standard.
Yeah,
the standard that you set for him.
And now that he's applied for another job, that opens a whole other can of worms on what can you expect out of him next? Is he already laying down on the job, or is it gonna? I mean, they're gonna have to lift him up if he's gonna stick around. So
well, but do they have the fortitude to do that? Berganini does, and I think that Arnett does, and Wilson does. That's what concerns me is they timidly, and I don't think they do the research. I think they're timid about their actions, and come forward with your plan. If somebody has a better idea, that's fine, but at least have an idea based on your inherent knowledge and your esoteric knowledge of what's going on. Hell, that's your damn job. If you want to run for this job, do a good job.
Anything else? think we beat this one up.
I think they've beat us up. I think they've beat us to a pulp. If they were doing a good job, we wouldn't be sitting there right now, and I would be.
We just vote for the incumbents.
I wish it was that
And
easy.
nobody else would want to run.
I wish it were that easy. Our next topic of conversation, I think we're going to have to talk about the inherent problems within the city. We're going to have to start bringing up stuff up about wages, about infrastructure problems, and pending doom.
Pending. Like it's not here already. I'm joking.
Good point.
It's going
Good
well.
point. Pending doom. About the doom that will be upon us directly. But it's all salvageable. We could fix all this. Do you know that? We could fix this. We could fix it. It's all repairable.
Mell More, signing off.
Have a good evening. Back in deal.